What's up? If you're new here, my name is Josh. Today I want to be talking about the importance of everything, not just the good things, but also the bad things. Um, a lot of us don't like bad things, and but we don't really notice how important it actually is and what purpose it has. Um, think about it. If we didn't have those bad moments, how do we get to enjoy the good ones? If we wouldn't have gone through struggle, how would we know the difference between that and being rich, I guess, or wealthy, or whatever you want to call it? How would you experience that if you were never poor? You wouldn't experience it, it would just be there. It would just exist, right? If you only experience, if you only ever experience success, you will be fragile. You wouldn't know what to do when things fall apart. You wouldn't know how to appreciate life or appreciate peace if you never went through that chaos. And it's not only about that aspect of life, but with anything. Like, if there weren't bad people around, how would we know that there's good people around? How would there be that test of good people if there was no bad people? These things are important because failure teaches you humility, you know, delay teaches you patience. So everything that you can think of that is bad in your life, it has some purpose, some way, shape, or form. I used to say, oh, why doesn't this exist? Why doesn't that exist? But when you stop asking yourself those type of questions and more of ask like, okay, what can I do because of this? For example, me, for the longest, I've wanted a job. I left my old job 6 months ago, and I couldn't find a job for 6 months. I still haven't found one. Um, and I'm wondering, like, okay, I'm going to these interviews, I'm applying to all these jobs. Why can't I get a job? I was literally like frustrated, right? Um, and then I started studying something that literally takes up the time, the free time that I have before I have to go to school. And now I see is like, wow, it's because I had to find this, and I need to study this while also going to school at the same time. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I was working. We fail to realize that even pain has purpose, right? The bad seasons expose who's really with you, and it shows you what you need to survive. When you skip the bad things, you ignore growth. And when you ignore the lessons, it's just going to be another cycle. Another cycle. Remember that nothing is wasted. Everything has its purpose. If it didn't have a purpose, it wouldn't be. Am I right? It wouldn't be. Because why would it exist if it wasn't meant to be there? Right? If that thing wasn't supposed to happen, okay, why did it happen? If it wasn't supposed to, why did it happen then? Because it was meant to happen. If there's a certain thing in your life, it's because it's meant to be there. A lot of us only focus on good. We only focus on wins. We only focus on the breakthrough and stuff like this. But we don't like to acknowledge that everything is important. Think back on your life and see the decisions you had to make and the things you had to do to get to where you're at. And see if certain types of things that happened to you made you change as a person in a better way, right? And once you start seeing it like that and using it to your advantage instead of saying, oh, why did that happen to me? Oh, why does this exist? I don't like this. Well, if that wouldn't exist, this other thing wouldn't exist. Just as simple as that. But that's pretty much it for this video. It's really simple and straightforward. Everything matters. Everything matters. Like, The good and the bad just all matters, because without one you can't have the other. Without this you can't have that, without that you can't have this. This wouldn't make sense without this part. You wouldn't know certain things without having the other thing. Pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. God loves you. I love you. Peace.